Hey everybody, it's another episode of Up and Atom Comics. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk a bit about a whole bunch more recent things that I've gotten, mostly as giveaways or AOKs or super cheap things that I've been able to add to my collection. So, what I thought I would do is just kind of go into it with a few different things. So, some of this is that I'm going to start off with here is from a whatnot purchase, and I don't typically like going on whatnot at all. It's very easy to bid on things and things like that. But I was just on there, and I kind of have a a strategy for finding like some back issues, and I found this seller who basically knows nothing about comics whatsoever. And he was an estate sailor, and he had all of these comics that he was just putting up for and starting everything off at $2. And on the show that I was watching, uh, there weren't a lot of people in the room, but there were a lot of people that were, I mean, they were totally getting some of the best deals that you could even imagine. And part of it was because the guy really knew nothing about what he had. And then people were requesting things like, hey, do you have any of this? Do you have any of that? And he happened to say that, he's like, oh, I got some X-Men. And so he was showing off some stuff, and he had an X-Men 94, and the X-Men 94, I think, went for, I want to say it was like $80. And then somebody was like, hey, do you happen to have any giant size X-Men? Like, in the chat, like, oh man, this is gonna go crazy. He's like, oh, I did just find one. It was a giant size X-Men one. And a lot of these books are not in the best shape. I mean, probably uh, you know, 3 to 4 kind of range. But they're still good deals. And so the giant size X-Men one, I think, went for about $300, and which was a steal for the condition it was in. And yeah, it was just absolutely crazy. So I didn't have a lot of money to spend. Um, but I did manage to pick up a couple things, and these were all like $2. So I got an Amazing Spider-Man 180, and this is the death of one of the Green Goblins. But yeah, $2. He had some Ghost Rider, so I get Ghost Rider 40, um, Black Panther 7, and this was probably the biggest one that I got. Just an X-Men that I didn't have was 113. And so yeah, all those for $2. Now I will say it really showed this guy knew nothing about comics, because what he did, he put this in a manila envelope and mailed it off. And there was no backing board, there's no bag, there's no support in the package. It was an envelope stamped with "Do not bend." I know Chanko always recalls that. Like some of the worst sellers write "Do not bend" on their envelopes, and I would agree this was one of those. But it was, I didn't know that that's how I was getting it. But for $2 for each one of those, I was like, it's worth a risk just trying to see. I am curious to see if that giant size X-Men one was just put in a manila envelope and mailed off. I'm not sure, but absolutely crazy. So those were, I feel like those were great deals to get. Then I have another, and some of these are not rebags, so I apologize. I have another place that I like to shop online some, and usually to get filler stuff. Um, so I found a seller that had a whole bunch of stuff that I was kind of interested in. As I mentioned before on other channels, trying to get some Bronze Age Marvel horror books. And so what the big series I'm trying to finish my run of is Werewolf by Night. And so I got number 12, which I love this cover with the guy, the werewolf coming from the back seat into the front seat. You can see his reflection in the rearview mirror there. So it's number 12. And these are, that one was beat up, but it's okay. And then I got number 14. So now I am down to needing just 7 issues left of Werewolf by Night to have the full run. So I'm very excited about that. I do also need, I think, 3 of the giant size Werewolf by Nights, which I still consider that part of the whole series. So I definitely want to pick that up as well. But I'm hoping in 2026 that will be something I can finish. And then the same seller who had those Werewolf by Nights, he had a full run of Tomb of Dracula. These are the magazines. This is considered like the volume 2. And so this is kind of after the Tomb of Dracula series took over, they started putting out some magazines. And so I bought, it was kind of nice to get a whole set. So that's number 1. Because then you don't have to hunt around for any more. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And number 6. So I was really excited to get that. Those were all, I believe, was like $5 each. So that was kind of nice. And then another thing, I had kind of an option. There were 2 like keys or somewhat minor keys in some ways. A couple of books that I was looking at. And so I was asking like a friend of mine, I was like, hey, which would you get? And so he said, you should get this one. And so I agreed. And so I picked up House of Mystery number 290. And the significance of this book is this is the first appearance of, they started a series called I, Vampire. All the stories from 290 to 321 are all feature I vampire. And so this, I haven't read this yet, but it's one of those that I've toyed about trying to see if I would like the character enough to see if I want to get that House of Mystery run. So what better than to knock out the key first in the first appearance and try to see if I like this. So I will follow up with what I think of House of Mystery 290 and this I, Vampire series. So this got a great Joe Kubert cover, by the way. And then I got a series of books from another dealer who was putting up some things, and he called them, they were coverless comics. And so I was a little bit intrigued. I have some coverless comics, and I don't, I normally wouldn't want to collect them that way, but there's some things that it's like, well, that would be kind of cool to have and to read. But in this posting of coverless comics, there was one book in that issue, in that section, that I did want. And the whole set of these, there are 6 books here that are all coverless, what he called coverless, and I paid $18 for the set. And so when you see like one of the books, I was like, that's worth it enough to me. And so let me show you the other things that I got that are not the big book that I wanted. So this is a Doom Patrol number 91 from November 64. It's Mento, the man who split the Doom Patrol. And there's a little note on this that it's Mento's first appearance, Gargoax's first appearance, and the Menta Helmet's first appearance. That's in this issue of Doom Patrol. So I got that. Metal Men number 10 from October, November 1964. This is number 10. And so I'll probably read this, probably give this a read. just to see what it's like. And a lot of these are, in that 64 to 65 range. So it's definitely worth getting. And this is Action Comics 321. Superman, weakest man in the world. And so sometimes these like frontispieces or first pages are absolutely amazing. Um, and so this has you know a pretty cool action book. This is Star Spangled War Stories, number 120, The Tank Eater. Pretty cool book there. And then there's Superman number 176 from April 1965. And it says on there, The Revenge of the Super Pets. So those were five of the six. I'm not attached to any of these. So if anybody is looking for any of these and wants a coverless book, holla at you, boo, as some people are known to say. Not me usually. But anyway, but the one that I really wanted was a book that I have seen that, I collect silly things and I also collect um, somewhat books that I think are somewhat wrong or probably wouldn't be published today, through some means. And so this is a book that I have seen that I really liked to collect it, and I wanted to read it because I was like, I can't believe like this was written back in the day. Um, and that this book actually exists. But I've never wanted to pay because it, can go for 100 or more bucks easily in a good condition. So this book, and I will see if I can scroll it up so you can kind of slowly start seeing it. It's the Lois Lane. And it's Lois Lane, but it's just without remainder was torn off. So just the top was torn off so that uh, the news agency or whoever could send it back to get a full refund. But this is Lois Lane 106. This is the one where she turns herself into an African American girl to see what life is like during that. And the story is actually, you know, really not bad. There's a funny moment in here where she's like, well, Superman, if I turn myself into a black woman, will you marry me? And no, it actually kind of says it right through on the front cover. And he's like, he's like, oh, wait a minute, hey, I'm like an alien, and oh yeah, and also, I don't want anybody that I know to be like is known to be with me to be in any danger in any way. But he like backs up, like, oh, let's not talk about the M word right now, as Superman is wont to do. But I thought this is great that I picked this up. I mean, if you think about the app, like paid $18, so this one was $3. And it's also the second appearance of Rose and Thorn, which are in the back part of that. So great story. I loved reading that. So I thought it was great. Not something I wanted to spend like 100 plus bucks on, but anyway, there's that. Um, and then another thing that I got in the mail was um, Aranga D, who will be on Nate's channel on Tuesday. On Tuesday, January 20th, we have Aranga D, who's the artist, and David Byrne has a new Kickstarter that just launched on January 12th. That is called the Eternal AE. I think it's Eternal. Um, and he had Aranga is somebody that I've gotten to know at a few conventions and have talked with him a bit, gotten him to draw some things for me too, as commissions, which is great. But on his Facebook page at the end of every year, he usually does a few different drawings and does them as giveaways. And you just have to, you know, like or just say enter into his Facebook challenge. And then he does like a spinning wheel thing and gives some stuff away. And so I kind of won the big sketch because this was the only one that he did as a I believe a 9 by 12 if I'm looking at it right. Um, and so he usually does somewhat of a parody of something Christmassy. And so he did from Christmas Vacation. He had this where it would say like shitter's full. He's got Wolverine heads in there. But he's got Wolverine um, as as the I guess the uncle. I can't remember the character's name. I'm terrible about names for movies sometimes. But anyway, if you watch Christmas Vacation, uh, you would know this character as he's plugging in his RV to empty it into the sewers. So that was so nice. Um, but I have been talking with him about trying to set up an interview with him, and so he said, "Well, I'm also gonna. I have these ash cans of this is the Kickstarter Eternal. He has an ash can of the comic um, that he sent me one of these, and this will be given away on the live stream on January 20th. So make sure you tune into that. We'll have David Byrne and Aranga on the channel on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern, I think it is. um, we will have him on there. We'll talk a little bit about the Kickstarter, some of Aranga's work and David Byrne's work in the past. And then yeah, we'll give this away. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to showcase some of Aranga's work with that. I couldn't because of my computer issues and some different things, and I wanted to give him the best exposure. I talked to Nate and I said, "Hey, can we have him as a guest?" so so that's why we're having him on Nate's channel on Tuesday because I gave Aranga some different options and he liked the idea and the idea of some bigger exposure on Nate's channel than me doing like an early live stream. And so I'm very excited about that. So Aranga, thank you so much for that. And then just yesterday, I got in the mail um, from Johnny's Comic Stuff, which I'll always include links of everybody down below. Johnny does some great work with, and his channel has a lot of great things about, um, cleaning and pressing. He's really done a great job with that. He does a lot of CGC submissions, and so sometimes he's cleaning and pressing books that he has, and then sending them off to CGC. Gets to kind of reveal what the grades are. But another thing that Johnny really likes collecting, and he has signed up for the Alex Ross mystery boxes that come out once a month, or subscription boxes, I should say. But Alex Ross did these mystery boxes around Christmas. And Johnny got a couple of them, and then he ended up with some duplicates. And so he sent to me and some other people like some of the duplicate stuff that he got, which I was totally blown away and not expecting at all. But Johnny, thank you so much. You're just a wonderful person. And I texted him, I was like, I don't deserve you, and I really don't. I don't deserve the friendship. Um, but he sent me this might be my favorite thing because when he was showing this off, I was like, ooh, that is amazing. This is a signed print of Alex Ross, and it's all the villains that he did for Marvel. This is not focusing in great, but we'll say that's a little bit better. So this is Alex Ross's Marvel villains mini print, and it's signed by Alex Ross. And then he also sent me the DC villains, which I love. I love villains. I just do. I like a lot of villains better than I do the heroes. And part of that is just because that usually makes the hero what they are is by juxtaposing them against the villains that they're going against. Um, so I was blown away by those two. And then he also sent me which this is just so cool. It's a bigger print, but it's Alex Ross signed Secret Wars print. So this is one of the covers from Secret Wars. I like it because it's got like the Thing is prominent there. It's got Black Bolt, Spider-Man. I mean, it's got Captain Marvel in the center. So many characters. He's just known for putting up a lot of characters in that. But this print is amazing. So I had the pleasure many years ago of getting to meet Alex Ross. He came to a museum. A museum not far from me was doing an exhibit of his, and he came down for the first day signing. It was the longest creator line that I have ever had to stand in, because I don't know where all these people came from, but we got there early, and I still had to wait 3+ hours just in line, not moving, to try to get. And I got a few books signed by Alex Ross at that time. But anyway, so to get an Alex Ross signature, I know is a big deal. But he got these through the mystery boxes heavily. But what a great thing. And I'm definitely going to be getting some frames and setting that kind of stuff up. So I'm excited about that. So thank you, Johnny. Um, and anyway, that's it for this episode. And stay tuned. I'll have some more things coming down the line that I'll be able to showcase off. Thanks so much for tuning in. Some of the people that I mentioned down below, make sure you flip through a floppy, and I'll check you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.